Hello and welcome to the March 2024 Residents Forum for Alconbury Weald. My name's Natalie, I'm your Community Development Lead. Today I'll be doing an update from the community. Then we will have Harry doing the latest on the new Runway Park, and that's in design at the moment. Then we'll have Matt doing sustainable drainage, and finally Paul will run us through any developments on updates on the development. Over the last couple of months, we've had several events happening. We had the Heritage Walk, where we walked around the residential area, looking at what was there before, where the hangars were, the very exciting Hush House. And then we also had the Wild Weald event. Very stormy day over March. Those who came had a lovely time building planters. For events coming up, we've got the tennis activation happening on the 6th of April. There'll be 3 sessions for people to book onto. One for adults, and then some for families, and then for the younger ones as well. Book on there via Eventbrite and just search Alconbury Weald. So I am very excited to announce the beer festival that will be happening in the pavilion on the 13th and 14th of April. We'll have local beers. It's been doing this in conjunction with Wheatsheaf Brewery, who are a very, very local brewery. And hopefully it'll be a lovely day, so please come out to see what's happening. On the 20th of April, we've got the sword fighting workshop. This is being done with Shakespeare at the George. So they have an RSC member come every year to teach them how to do sword fighting, and it'll be something that you can come down and have a watch, and they're going to open it up to the public. Booking is absolutely essential, and you can do that via Eventbrite as well. Just search Alconbury Weald. So the Community Association, their next meeting is on the 3rd of April at 7:30. This will be on a Zoom. There's, as ever, their on-call will be there, and if you have any queries for them, it's a good time to bring those up. And then we'll also be doing events for 2024. Many of those events are already well into the planning stage, if not starting. So we've got golden eggs that have been hidden all around Alconbury Weald this Easter. You've also got the walking challenge that will happen in May, more details to come, and open gardens. So that'll be the 3rd time we run the open gardens, and that happens in June. Last date for signing up for the open gardens to show your garden is the 6th of April. If you'd like to get involved, just get in contact with me. So Youth Club is back and is in full swing now. The next session is on the 12th of April on Friday evenings. Take-up has been really, really good. If you'd like to volunteer for that, then please just get in touch with me and I can put you in touch with the right people. We've also got the stay and play sessions every single Friday in the club for 0 to 4-year-olds. Car sharing is a great way to save money, lower congestion and reduce your carbon footprint, and we've been working with Smart Journeys to launch a new app for Alconbury Weald and surrounding communities to join. The LiveShare app helps find matches with other people living locally and travelling to and from similar destinations. As a driver, passenger or both, you can register at liveshare.com/UK/community/Alconbury Weald. There are lots of ways of staying up to date. We've got the Alconbury Weald Living Facebook page, Make News, the latest edition of that is due very soon, and then the monthly Warbler on our website. I'll now hand over to Harry, who will be doing an update on Runway Park and how last year's consultation has fed into the design.
Hi everyone, my name's Harry Powell. I'm a landscape architect at Bradley Murphy Design, and we've been working on developing and designing the green and grey spaces at Alconbury over the last 10 plus years. And today we're going to give a quick overview of where we're at in the planning and design process and a quick overview of some of the key spaces that are coming forward. This first slide shows the Key Phase 3 regulatory plan, which has recently been submitted as part of a Tier 2 planning application. And this kind of sets the framework for the next kind of large key phase. And the next parklands and public open spaces that are coming forward as part of Alconbury Weald. So these are very much kind of underpinned on the next slide by the landscape vision for the site, which is sort of through connecting the woodlands, replenishing grasslands and recycling water within the community on the left hand side. And then on the right hand side, this is kind of a vision for this next key phase, which is very much kind of associated with reconnecting landscape types through to the ancient woodland to the north. And you can see with that dashed line in the middle kind of highlighting this kind of destination parkland, which is Runway Park, located on the alignment of the existing and historical Cold War runway. And the next slide shows the illustrative master plan, which is a composite between what you'll be familiar with in Key Phase 1 and the new up-and-coming phase in Key Phase 3. And this was a illustrative master plan that was submitted with the last application. And you can see right in the middle there is an orange pin which highlights the location of the Runway Park, which I was going to kind of expand upon a little bit more. So for the Runway Park, we'll be submitting a detailed application for the first approximately 1 kilometre of a 2 kilometre destination public park. And we're currently developing proposals for the space as a whole, but it will definitely include 2 new large play areas, along with play trails, recreational and educational spaces, running, cycling, walking routes, and nature trails, which we start to touch on the next slide. So you can see this is kind of very illustrative, but just starts to indicate some of the kind of potential locations for points of access to nature, leisure routes and recreational spaces, as well as kind of themed play spaces, areas for kind of foraging, movement, interpretation, etc. And this next slide shows an expanded diagram of how the park will be expanded to the east, and just how we're starting to think about some potential features in that eastern side and how it will sort of complement the kind of western end of the park. So it's not coming forward as part of this detailed application, but considering it at this time. So there's kind of elements that will come forward, such as potentially learn to ride tracks, learn to skate, learn to scoot. And the following slide includes a illustrative layout for the Runway Park and this next detailed application phase. So you can see right at the heart of the space is a SUDS wildlife corridor and sort of wetland basin, very much kind of underpinned by the putting nature first principles that we've established for this parkland. And as you can see from the next slide, the wetland itself is a really significant piece of infrastructure within the parkland. At over 500 metres long, it will provide a accessible route through that winds kind of through the space, providing lots of opportunities for access to nature and informal play. And to the south, you'll see a pink asterisk, which indicates the location of a destination play area. And to the east, there's another play area coming in just off screen as well. And as you can see from some of the notes on here, wetland itself is a really kind of important habitat type, with 40% of the world's wildlife depending on it, and 75% of inland wetlands lost over the last 300 years in the UK. So a really significant piece of habitat creation. And on the next slide, you can start to see some of the landscape typologies, which includes things like a range of grasslands, marginal and aquatic habitats, as well as woodlands, which form part of this really strong habitat mosaic targeting sort of locally prevalent species. And this next slide shows a very much kind of working update to the illustrative layout and how some of these spaces and features might come forward in the following application. So we should have a video showing the first section of the wetland basin and what might come forward in the future. The video starts at the western end of the Runway Park wetland, and you can see that long distance view along its 500 metre length. It's flanked by new trees and woodland planting, which will act as a windbreak, as well as creating new habitats in its own right. There's a footpath that weaves all the way through the space, linking to wider movement and travel networks, as well as linking to play areas. And here we expand into the more significant wetland basin area, where you can see lots of different habitat types, variable water depths, a whole host of different aquatic and marginal planting. And then as we go along, elements of natural play and lots of opportunities to explore and discover nature.
Thanks, Harry. That was really interesting. Now we're going to hand over to Matt, who's going to talk about sustainable drainage.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Hipkiss, a civil engineer from Stantec. We've been working alongside Urban Civic for over 10 years, helping to deliver sustainable drainage at Alconbury Weald, using rainwater to enhance our green spaces and making Alconbury a vibrant place to live. Stantec is a global company of nearly 30,000 engineers, scientists and planners. I'm based locally in Northampton, with one of our other offices being nearby in Cambridge. No one would have failed to notice how much rain we've had over the last few months. We recently experienced the wettest February on record in the east of England and East Anglia, with February also being the warmest on record across the whole of England. This warmer climate means there is more water being held in our atmosphere and therefore more intense rainfall when it does rain. Sustainable drainage provides resilience for new communities to a changing climate and also provides a natural habitat for a diverse range of species, newts, frogs, dragonflies and kingfishers. This is the master plan for Key Phase 1 and Key Phase 3. We use the green spaces to store rainwater at peak times, draining it away from our homes, schools and businesses when it lands on the ground. This allows us to store rainwater on the site and then release it at a controlled rate, helping to reduce the potential flood risk to our neighbours. We've already delivered all of the sustainable drainage needed for Key Phase 1, with ponds placed within the green spaces near the schools, between the Morris Homes and Campbell Buchanan parcels, within the new green space between the Barretts and Redrow parcels. There is also a series of storage crates beneath the Alconbury Weald cricket pitch where water is stored at times of peak rainfall, and the employment areas also have a separate system of ponds near their dedicated entrance off Ermine Street. As the designers and engineers for the project, we model every single pipe to assess its performance when it rains. The image above is just a small example of what we model, showing the drainage for the Hopkins Homes parcel near Swinford Road. This is so we can demonstrate we have enough storage for the most intense rainfall, statistically predicted to happen once every 100 years, and we can assess the impacts of climate change on increasing rainfall intensities in the future. As well as storing rainwater to manage flood risk, we use water as an asset to enhance the development at Alconbury Weald. An example of this are the Causeway ponds on Carnail Road near the primary school. These ponds use rainwater to create a habitat for wildlife and an entrance feature to the development and a place that people can visit within the site. We use a vortex control device to spill water from the Anglian water adopted sewer surface water pipes into the ponds during periods of higher rainfall. As the pond fills up, it then flows back into the pipe network to be conveyed to the larger ponds between the school and the RAF boundary. This allows us to manage the level of water in the pond, ensuring it doesn't overtop into the road, but providing a great place for wildlife at the same time. These are some in-progress photos of a drainage infrastructure being constructed. The top left image is the vortex flow control used to control water near the Carnail Road ponds. This requires no mechanical or electrical function to work. It operates simply through hydraulics. The bottom left image is one of headwall structures which lets water into our ponds. There are a few of these across the site. And the right-hand picture is one of the newer ponds on the site near the future secondary school. A couple more examples of how we manage surface water on the site. On the left are the storage crates being installed beneath the cricket pitch. The individuals walking around them in high vis give a sense of the scale of what's underneath the ground now. On the right are some of the ponds in the employment area alongside Pearson Road, where we've reused crushed concrete from the runway to form walls to one side of the pond as a way to recycle materials available on the site.
Thanks for that, Matt. I hope you all found that very interesting. I know I did. I know sometimes it's a bit high tech, but if you do have any other questions about it, then please drop us an email and let us know. My name is Paul Murphin. I'm the Communities and Partnerships Manager for Urban and Civic, looking after the Alconbury Weald site. I'm just going to take you through the last few slides of the presentation, starting with Pressley Way is now open. The route reopened in February after extensive landscaping, which included thousands of whips and semi-mature trees and meadow seeding being planted. So now spring is in the air, please go down and enjoy it. Young person's bus ticket. We've seen a great increase, 22% actually, of increase in travellers in August and September with the free bus service compared with July of last year. We've also seen a 21% increase in travellers in October compared with July last year. If you're interested in the young person's bus ticket, you need to be aged between 11 and 22, and you get 10 single journeys for just £15. And for those people that haven't been here before, I always give an update on Alconbury Weald and where we are with it. We're now up to 911 homes occupied. Phase 1 will deliver 1,700 homes in total. As you can see the slide here with the different house builders on, Campbell Buchanan George are bringing forward 62 new homes. Hopkins Homes will be bringing 189 homes, and followed by Barrett Homes and Redrow and Morris, who are all delivering great homes for this development. Not a big update on the Glade, which is the area opposite us, but there will be another building opposite the co-op that will have 5 retail outlets, ideally for a coffee shop or a vet's or a fast food or a nail bar or hairdressers. We're looking for independent local people to come and occupy these retail units. Hopefully the planning will be going in later this summer, and I'll keep you updated with that. There'll also be a nursery which we built on the land behind the co-op, and we're working with providers there to look at what the building will look like, and hopefully we'll have planning permission this year. We're also still working with the NHS partners to bring forward an interim healthcare which will be above the co-op, and I hope to be able to confirm more details soon. We're just going through some demolition work to the north of the site. This is taking down some of the old buildings that we inherited when we bought the site. That's going on as we speak. It's supposed to be lasting until September. Everything is being recycled, all the concrete, all the metal, and anything else is being crushed and used on site. And here we have the education campus. The education campus will provide the secondary school for Alconbury Weald and a special needs school for the development and wider area. The special needs school will be opening up in September of this year. Regarding the secondary school, Urban and Civic are working with the County Council and the Department for Education to finalise the opening of the secondary school and finalise the programme. Discussions are ongoing between us, the design and build team to finalise the timings. The school does need to have a number of students before it can open, and all partners are working closely to finalise a programme which will be shared with the community as soon as it's confirmed. We know people are keen to know, and we should be able to confirm this very, very soon. And the primary school extension is underway. Many of you will know Ermine Street School was designed to provide 3 forms of entry, and the school has design and planning consents to extend its third arm or leg to the rear of the building as needed. That time is now right, and work is started and will continue over the summer to complete the extension of the school. There are 3 phases to Alconbury Weald. There's actually 4, but I'll talk about these 3. Phase 3 will have 2,000 new homes, employment space, 2 new primary schools. It'll have the Cold War heritage area, a health centre, sports facilities, library and community facilities, and also transport connections. Phase 2 is the country park, which is Pressley Wood. It'll have glades and grasslands, walking, cycling and equestrian routes, sports pitches and recreation. And Grange Farm to the south of the development will have 1,500 new homes. If you have any other questions, please do let me or Natalie know, and you can use the contact details on the screen on the slide here. And as usual, we look forward to seeing you at the next Resident Forum in about 3 months' time.